Hello and welcome, as this is the near the end of the month of May the 30th, 2018. And I'm going to do another one of these buy low, sell high videos. And I wanted to find a very good volatile, choppy, up and down market. And what better than this one here? We can go back a long ways away. 2014. Now this came out up here. And then had a big sell-off. It's been in a range between about, we got around 15 to a top at about 200. But it was resisted mostly near a little over 100, around 100. And it is supported mainly near that of about 30, maybe a little higher. So therefore, I expect nothing but incredible results doing such. I'm going to be using the 400-minute time frame. And if you ever are looking to see how different strategies work, or you think of an idea, or you want to verify something you have read in a book or on the internet or something else somebody has said, then you can always go back in time with these codes and see how whatever factors, parameters played out in the past. You can download data from sites like cryptocompare.com and then run spreadsheet tests or wherever else you can work within that data, and so on. So therefore, let's go back in time. Again, I want to start back in this congestion range at 100. So if you started back here, and let's think about this for a second. If you bought at this level, you're obviously up in fiat currency, but if you did nothing, you'd be down a little more than half your value, with the price currently in at 45. But what you're going to see happen is a lot of buy orders over and over again until it hits its low of 24. And then a bombardment of sell orders. Vast majority buy orders in here. You might be able to pull off a sell order during this rally to the 18. Then it's going to rally up, and with some of these spikes, you're going to get a few buybacks here and there. Another bombardment of buys, bombardment of sells, and this is going to happen. I will wait to see how this looks in the 400-minute, but you're going to get sell order fill. Now, because I know the fact, I'd be like, oh, I say it's 128 ends up being my highest sell order. I'm not going to try to memorize the numbers other than for where I first placed my sell orders, because I just want to make it easiest and realistic, because in reality, you got to say to yourself, how far low do you plan on buying and how far high do you plan on selling? You want to go as high as you possibly can. And the strategies, or the amounts that I talk about, is the amount so you never sell out. Okay. So then what we're going to do is we're just going to see how a lot of these moves will play out. Let's change this to the 400-minute. And I'm going to scroll this just to look at a lot of periods like this. This is about the most I can do. I'm going to move the mouse over like this. I'm going to even see if this can go back, or else I'm pretty sure that it will. Yeah, here we go. So I want to get a buy in at around 100. So this would be a decent place to start. So what I'll do is I'm going to be placing in sell orders and buy orders. I'll start off with sell orders first, since the horizontal rays go underneath price action. So if you start buying at 100, where do you want to sell for the first time? 20% gains? And we'll play bigger than that. 133. Somewhere around there. It's 36% gain. Somewhere here. That would be about an okay gain. And I know the market doesn't go any higher than that, since I can remember such. So mainly a lot of this is going to be buyers. Now I would have sell orders in at, say, 295 and 377 or whatever other numbers. Or I at least would have a plan to sell at the numbers when the price actions, if it were, and of course it doesn't go there. So there's really no need for me to put a line there. So then let's now make it so that we can put some buy orders in. And I got negatives. I don't need that. In fact, I should take the log scale off on this. Okay, so let's place some buy orders. I know 15 is the lowest it gets to, so I'll be nice and not cheat and go 15. I'll make it so my lowest buy will end up being 18. After 18, you could probably go 28. After 28, you'd want to go, say, maybe 40-ish. Then after 40, you'd want to go well over 50. So we'll do 57. Which is where it was, I think. Yep. So after 57, let's go say 71. And the last one, considering we're at 100 now, would be in the 80s. Reset the scale. And let's play the game. So again, I'm just going to be waiting for different movements. I'm going to make it to just save a little bit of time in the fact that I'm going to be processing data in the computer with each transaction. So we'll start off with what a tenth of a Bitcoin would give in at original buy at the 100 number. And I'm going to be looking to, and if you look at your original sale, if you go in 100 to 130, 136, you're looking for a 36% gain. So you need to sell significantly less than 36% of what you have, but a noticeable amount. So I'll be looking to maybe sell about 15% on the original sales. And for buying, if say you're buying at 82, which is about an 18% reduction, there's no need to buy back any more than 20% of what you got. That's just extreme. Even going like 10 to 15% is fine. So then, let's see the next transaction, which we can see that as a buy at the 82. So in the start of the game, I entered in 100,000 to buy at 100 Satoshi, which would work out to 0.1. This buy 12,000. Just trying to think if that would be right. You know what? I'm going to go a 16,000 buy. And we'll start with some early statistics to start this off. And we'll move the sell order so it's nicely over the 100 number. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Two sell orders filled at 117 and 136. So therefore, what did 16,000 would have been the buy? I'd be looking to probably sell maybe 14,000 and then 13,000 on the two sell orders. So now holding 89,000, an early ROI of 36.78%, but we know it's going to be dropping pretty soon. Stick this line at the previous low. And stick this one, say, maybe at the 100 number. And 100 is hit. And within the spreadsheet that I'm using to calculate such, what's worth noting is that when this bought 100, it would have cost 16.016 of a Bitcoin to buy 16,000 at 100. The last transaction at 136 would have net received 0.017. So that's almost like pocketing 0.016 as well as 3,000 of these particular coins. Where I'm getting the statistics from is in here. I have to manually put the price in to get the ROI value. And I would just copy this to here. And then I could just go on here and paste, and then this annoying feature, I'll just go like that. And there are some statistics, up 22.63% at this time. And when you think about that factor, you're up 22%, you've barely started trading, and you're right back where you started. That's a pretty magnificent feat. So let's look for a 122. Wow, sweet. And let's, and when you look at what we sold before, see, if I sold 13,000, bought back 16,000, I can get away with selling 14,000 now within this game. So I would sell 14,000. Ooh, that's one too many. And doing so at the price of 122. That's Notepad. And that's why I want to pause the tape so you don't go through a lot of this. I'm just going to show you how it's done and then just pause it from here on in when I'm doing this. But now you've sold 2,000 less than you've bought. So 2,000 in a sense you could look at for free on one trade side. And you've managed to get an extra 0.001 out of the deal. And a 42.98% ORI at this point. Nice. Let's bring it back down to the one bill. One even. And execute the buy. And 40% ROI, and the price is back to where you started. This could be a fun number to work with. I might want to put a lot of my buy and sell orders at that exact number throughout this game. So I mentioned an onslaught of buy orders. This probably looks like it's the start of it. Buy in at 81. We'll pick up 17,500 of them at the 81 price, and market's down 19% since the open, but the return on the portfolio would be up 34 right now. And we'll move this up to 100. I'm going to use that number all the way through. Ooh, does this hit? Not quite, but it does there. 70 buy order. And within such, it's a negative ROI. However, the last few little turns on the buyback, it wasn't considering the mathematics on that. It was something. It's because of this, these two data points that I just have to mess around with my numbers a little bit till I figure out when a person's already in and everything's good to go. Because open buys means how much you are putting into it. It originally started with 0.10. But then as the market goes down, you're going to be adding more. So this number is going to be increasing during this downtrend as you keep on adding more and more into this code. And the BTC return would be, well, let's just assume every time you play, you have you deposit what you need to buy, and that's it. But after you start selling, you're going to accumulate a bunch, which of course you'd be using within buy orders, but would not affect what you originally put in. So after the next great rally that we'll see from this bottom, we'll probably see at its bottom, it will never, whatever this number gets to, will be the lowest it would ever be. So then let's just see how high this number will get up to, because this thing is probably going to keep going lower. Well, we know it is. We've seen the data. Okay, that's a buy at 57. And now down almost 30%, when hodling has been down 43, but obviously it would have been a difference of a 0.1 investment, and an additional 0.035 or so has been added within this venture. And that time delay, this is not the greatest sometimes to try to work with the software to just pause the tape. That's what the delay was last time with the long silence. almost a sell order, but not quite. And again, not quite. Okay. Whenever you see something like this, where you have a buy like this, you can instantly sell at 52 if you choose. And in this case, I think I'm gonna try for a bit high. Oh, I know the outcome, but I'd probably try for a bit higher. And we'll pick up 28,000 with the prices being much cheaper. Place the sell order a little bit higher, maybe up to about 61. And see if it looks like it's not going to be that 61 because it's right there. 27 has been purchased. And the ROI, you're down more than half your value against Bitcoin. It's a wild, volatile game. And this is why if this keeps going straight down, it would crush your portfolio. We know it's going to end good, but let's move on. And we'll see where we want to sell based on this scaling. 27 last purchase. We have 61 above it. I'm going to reduce it just a bit to 58. And then maybe go to like 43 or 4 here. Okay, we're just going to backtrack here for a second. And see. We'll just play it right here. 2 sell orders in a row. So finally selling back in the game. Of course, buy low, sell high. And last time your portfolio was down like 60%. Now it's basically back to even. 2 sell orders puts BTC in your account. The DOGEs are worth 10. So these 2 numbers added is the difference from the open buys. And with the price at 58 to be even, that's amazing. So we'll put some more buy orders in. Or 2 more. I want to get key levels. Like there, kind of deal. That's what I like to do anyway. And we see here that only 2 sell orders would have been executed at 76 and at 87. And of course, we know it's not going to go much higher, so why not sell them all? If you knew, great, but you never know. I sell 26,000 and 24,000 before, now 22 and 20. I'll keep on doing it, like 18,000, then 16, then 14,000, 13. Until I'm safely at the point where, oh my goodness, I'm selling out at extreme levels, or I keep on working it in a way so that the amount that the market goes up in percentage gain, the amount you sell is lower than such. As long as you can do that, you'll never sell out. So if a market goes up, say 30% from your last trade, if you sell 20 or 25%, you'll do pretty good on that level. And again, this number should not be at stat. I gotta fix this. So I'll do that now. And that makes our ROI actually 14.5%. Market's down 13%. Not bad. Place some new buy orders, which I'll go a little deeper in this one maybe. Bring this one down to, say, here. And the next one maybe at 63. It's close, but the last sale was pretty decent. And there would be your execution for such. Which puts the ROI back into negative territory, with the market down 37% since the start. Put the sell order in, maybe closer to 80. And there's the sale. Puts the ROI back to 11% up. You'd have 0.06 Bitcoin in cash and buy orders, maybe all of it in buy orders. And your DOGE coins would be worth 11.2% after starting off with 15.5% of a Bitcoin. And we can safely bring this down again. Even 52 I want to drop a bit. And just a bit again. But for now, 100. We'll use that number again over and over. And the ROI up to close to 29% after selling 20,000 at 100. We'll bring it down to this key level. Oh, that was close. That was super duper close. But it didn't hit. That one does, 76. We'll put the seller in at 100. But showing positive earnings with the market down 24%. Buy in at 62. And the portfolio has moved into negative territory, down almost 3%, down 38% since you started. And this key level looks fine for me. Ooh, that's just beautiful when that stuff like that happens. 83 sell order hit. And we'll sell 19,000 and back to an ROI close to 20%. With the market down 17%. And you'd have to ask yourself the question, do you buy back now or do you want a cheaper price? You got a buy order at 51. So I think you could go for a little bit cheaper. But even then, you want to look at maybe going maybe to 49. And then maybe even reducing this just a little bit like that. So yeah, we'll do 63. I'll reset the scale. See if that number hits. Which of course it did. Which sees the ROI stay positive, barely over 0.5%. 0.64. Regardless, you see a 37 basis point drop, you're doing fine. And we'll place that sell order just before that last high. And we are now into the end of 2014. This is a long duration of time, but we're into 2015, almost the entire year, not a single trade, 27 days in now. Into the 23rd day of 2015, February. Finally a buy at 49. And that's enough to put the ROI lower than 15% when the market has lost half its value since the original entry date. Place a new sell order. These previous highs look fine to me, although it's fine. 69 then next to 84. I'm happy with that. Is this the line here? 37, most certainly it is. So that'd be a buy there. It reduces the ROI down to negative 37%. However, you still have almost little over 2.5% of a Bitcoin. And this transaction, 30,000 at 31 Satoshi, that's under 0.01. So you easily have 3 buy orders left in the tank at this stage. And I know it goes straight up from here, but you'd be looking at this stage, you already see you have a sell order at 69. So you'd be like, oh, look at this level of previous resistance. To me, 58. Maybe just move this up a hair to 71. Maybe move this up a little hair too to 87, which is that support level. And there's 59, previous support becoming a possibility of resistance, but a sell order. And it's actually 58 where the sell order would come in at, because that's where the black line is. That's where the line is shown. And selling 25,000, this is more, or excuse me, this is less rather than what was bought. 30,000 were bought. So I'm going to sell a little bit less, keep a bit from what I bought the last time. So 5,000 from the last buy were saved. Sell the next one, maybe around 22,500 as the next sell order. And then progress it lower, 20,000 thereafter. Then maybe 18,000 after that. That's the way I like to play it. But for now, we need a buy order back in, and might as well go previous low, but I want to check below here. Yep, that's an order. What I wanted to see was that my next buy order below wasn't close enough to where that price action happened to be. Ooh, 2 sell orders got hit. We'll assume that you happen to be at the computer when it's at 67, because even then I'd probably think, ooh, I'd probably want my sell order at 87. I'd be looking at this here thinking maybe, we'll get to that in a second, but maybe to about here. But first, let's show you the statistics. And we'll use the numbers we stated, 22,500 and 20,000 for each of the cells, bringing the inventory still close to 160,000. ROI over 37, but the average buy at 69 Satoshi, average sale at 80. That's what you want to do. You've now got a reserve of 0.07 Bitcoin. Starting with 0.15, and your DOGE at this point would be worth 0.13. So you'd be up 0.05, which of course results to this profit. So then as far as where do we put the sell orders in? Well, this one we got this previous low, and I'm just going to go again below here. So where do we want to put it? Mathematically, 50 seems okay, maybe. Right here. And then for a move at this stage here, go with 60 even, which obviously hits. And with a 25,000 buy, the last sale was 20,000. So an increase of 5,000. It was cheaper to buy this than the amount given back on the 20,000 sale given the 60 price. ROI 9.5% when the market's down 40 basis points, or that much in percentages from the entry position. And we'll move this. We know this says a sell order at 100, so I'm going to keep it maybe close to the 80 number, maybe even 82. And there's the 82, which obviously is short within the 100. So we'll fill that transaction. And up to a 35% on the ORI after a 21,000 sale. Last time it was 20,000 sold. Well, if I buy back, I'll buy more than 25,000, which I bought last time. And the level in which I'd want to do so, maybe around this previous low. And this high around 60, or exactly at 62, which hits. And statistically, still up in the game at 14%. And that would have been at the 62 price. That would have been up that. Now let's try to sell this. I could sell that 77, but I think overall, if you put it in like this, more times than not, you're going to make that sale. It seems. I'm going to count this. Ooh, do I count it? 82. It's been. Yeah, I'm going to count it. Because there's enough time where I should have been in decent priority edge. But that's a spot where if it goes to 82, there's a chance you wouldn't sell because there's a whole bunch of different asks on that side. And you have to wait your turn. So everybody that had an order at that price before you would be first in line to get that sale. But we'll just assume you got it for 82. Up above 40 almost. Market's down a bit. Nice result so far. and place a buy order just below that last beautiful multiple hit price at 61. And we'll count this again. There was a long amount of time that came through where you should have been in top priority or high priority at that price, given how long you waited. And we'll buy 27,500. Now the original buy in this game was 100,000, and you were starting off with like 15,000 orders. These orders, through time, should get larger and larger and larger. And given that we have a long ways to go, I'm going to be forced to make this a multiple part video now, because the duration of time's a half an hour right now, and we're only in the summer of 2015. So I'd like to thank you for tuning in to part 1. I'll end this by putting a sell order in around 84. And have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.